Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Libby and today we're going to be making these super cute polymer clay apple earring. The one variation is just plain little tiny cute apples and the other is sparkly caramel apples. I love fall and I feel like apples are the most underrated fall food item. Comment below and tell me what your favorite way to eat apples is. I'll tell you mine. It is homemade apple crisp with salted caramel. It's so good. So if you're following along, let me know how it goes, and if you're just here to hang out, awesome. Grab a snack, get your little drinky drink and some tea, maybe a blanket, cuddle up and get cozy because we are getting started. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you. As for supplies, you need Sculpey Primo translucent clay, the flathead pins for the hardware. I have a brown and then the liquid Sculpey for a very fun feature. Here I'm just conditioning the clay and then I realized I forgot to clean everything with alcohol, so I went ahead and wiped everything off with a paper towel and alcohol, and now I'm warming the clay up so it's easier to work with. I'm using my little square cutter just so that I can measure the clay out so that everything can be relatively the same size. Here I'm just shaping each and every single little apple. For the first set of the mini apples, I'm doing just one square, and then for the candy apples, I'm doing 2 squares so that they're larger. I like to roll everything out on top of like a little Mod Podge container or something just so that I can see it up close and I have a surface to work on. I'm just putting dots in the top so I know where to put the stem, and then the bottom because apples have that little divot at the bottom anyway. And here is the stem. I'm using a brown that I already had, but if you had to make one, you totally could. Rolling it out super thin, and then I'm gonna cut it so that I can easily place it on top of the tiny little apples. Here I'm using my pastels. This is why we use translucent clay for this whole tutorial, is because I love the way that the pastels look to color the clay. Apples aren't always just one color. They're not just red and they're not just green. They usually have yellow. Sometimes they have yellow, red, and green. It just is such a pretty effect. It almost looks like glass. So I'm just starting here with the yellow powder at the top. Then I attach the little stem guy, and then I add whatever other colors that I want to the rest after I have my hardware in. So here is a close-up video. I'm just starting with the yellow, then I'm adding the stem. Sometimes it's hard to get in there, so you just gotta go for it with your little needle tool. And then the way that I introduce the hardware to the apple is I poke it through the top to make like a tunnel essentially, and then I poke it through the bottom because you want the flathead portion on the bottom of the apples anyway. They're ready for the oven. Now we're making our candy apples or caramel apples. I like green ones for caramel apples personally, so that's what I went with here. Pretty much the same apple technique. As you can see, I'm just poking the hardware through and then back through the other side so that I know exactly where it's going to come out at the top. I know that the pastel seems like a lot of extra work, and it is, but I feel like it is so worth it. So here I'm using the pastels to make the caramel dip. That's why the liquid Sculpey translucent is like so important. Now this is the best caramel color that I could come up with, and here I am just literally dipping them in the caramel, which is so satisfying because it's basically like I'm doing it in real life, but I can't eat this many caramel apples in one sitting, so I can wear them as earrings. I'm getting a really generous amount on, and then once they sit on the tray in the oven, they're going to develop like that flat spot at the bottom that pretty much all caramel apples get. Because it's translucent, I am going to have to go in over top of this with the resin, which you'll see me do here in a little bit. But this is basically just to get that starting shape for the caramel apple dip. Uh-oh, we ran out of caramel. So I'm just mixing up more. No biggie. Back to our dipping station. This makes me want to eat a caramel apple real bad. This is the caramel resin, if you will. So I used mica powder, pastels, and some food coloring to make the color. So these are the little buddies after they've been baked, and I'm just putting UV resin into this little dish that I have set up. And I'm using this little tool to essentially like paint the resin on. And then we cure it with the UV lamp. I'm just painting on the clear UV resin for the entire apple. So for the red apples and for the green with the resin caramel, I'm doing an entire another coat of plain resin. Oh, they're so beautiful when they're curing in the sun. I love it. Just so you know, you don't necessarily have to cure your UV resin in the sun. You can use the UV lamp, like the nail lamp that I have. But I like to do a really good cure with the lamp, like multiple minutes, maybe like 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'll do like a few more, like 5 minutes once they're all done. And then I like to be extra safe and cure them in the sun. So here I am just assembling the little charm with a jump ring to the huggy earring because that is how I wanted to wear these. I like a little huggy with a little dangle moment. I think these are so cute as a pair. Just so you know, they are available in my Etsy shop, LibbyNonicheLLC.etsy.com. If you would like to purchase them, they are the perfect fall earring combination. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. Every view, comment, like, subscriber, it means so much to me, and I just want to have the best art community here on the internet. So thank you so much. If you make these earrings for yourself, let me know how it goes for you. If you're interested in purchasing them, they are for sale in my shop, LibbyNoNicheLLC.etsy.com, or you can find my shop linked in my bios of any of my other socials, this one or Instagram or TikTok at LibbyNoNiche. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.